So, welcome to the second episode of the Chatellite, a one-on-one podcast with myself and Emmy Richu.
Hi.
Hey, Emily, my sis, my queen. So, just to set the context a little bit, I've wanted to do the Chatellite with you first. Like, you were the first person I thought of when I was thinking up this podcast idea.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, because I was like, low key. I had this idea after VidCon US last year, and I was like, yeah, I would really like to kind of just go one on one and really poke the brains of, of my friends and other animators and other YouTubers. Hopefully it can be like a H3HC situation where I invite guests on.
Yeah.
Except in real life and not over Discord. And so I was like, I had such a good time with you and having a chat that I was like, yeah, if I was to bring a guest on, it'll be you.
Yay!
Look at
and
you.
I'm here.
Starting off with compliments and then it's just gonna derail down from here.
And then you start roasting me.
Yeah.
The rest of it.
It's just an hour of roasting. Like, look at this dude.
You do that already.
Yeah, I roasted you before the podcast, so now this is me putting on a facade, like, hey, Emily. Now, actually, that's actually a starting point, because one of the things I did want to talk to you about was that not VidCon US per se, but I was just thinking back on us as friends, and I was like, how the hell did we actually become friends? What happened? What happened in my life that I met you? What tragedy happened?
Wow!
Immediately roasting. I'm sorry.
Oh my god!
No chill with me. But what's up? Yeah.
I remember you had sent me a Twitter DM and was like,
I did?
Hey, yeah. Well, okay, that's as far back as I remember.
I don't even remember that. So go on.
Okay, yeah, you sent me a Twitter DM and you were like, hey, I like your stuff. You want to join this Discord server with a whole bunch of other creators? And I was like, sure. That's the first time anyone's ever extended some kind of friendly invitation.
I do remember that. I honestly, I still do that. I like bringing people on, just cool kids.
Yeah, but what if I was crazy? What if you asked the wrong person one day and they're the worst?
What does that mean? What? I extend my invitation and you just reply with the hard R? What do you mean?
No, do you ever worry that you're introducing this new person into your circle of friends without really knowing much about them aside from the content that you've seen? Do you ever worry that you're inviting some kind of chaotic energy?
Interesting. Is this a recurring fear to you? Because I recall you mentioning this quite often, actually.
Really?
Yeah, you mentioned that quite often. For example, how in the VidCon US, how we accepted you into the house, and then Chili and their group did, and you were like, "What if I was crazy?" So is that genuinely, is that a worry for you that you're worried about a chaotic energy joining?
No, I mean, I don't worry about people thinking I'm crazy.
Yeah, because I'm not.
I'm not crazy. But I don't know. I would think that people would be a lot more wary. I don't know.
Has that happened to you? Because I don't know. I guess it's just never happened to me that I've introduced a friend that's just been so crazy that it's just ruined everything. But has it happened to you?
No.
Then who cares?
Yeah, true. But okay, I feel like the VidCon thing is different from the Discord thing. Because for Discord, if the person's too much, you can always kick them.
Yeah, right.
But then I think the reason why I was so touched when Chili reached out to me, despite not really knowing me, is because she was like, hey, you can stay under the same roof as us for a whole week in person.
Aww.
And in that case, you can't just be you need to leave.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could, but you'd be a huge loser if you do that.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I remember distinctly before VidCon, because we very much became way better friends at VidCon, right? And so before that though, I remember I invited you to the server, sure, and you didn't join that often. You just join from here and there, it's from time to time. And I don't know. I like whenever you did, either coincidentally or randomly, I used to be there, and I always used to kind of roast you just to bring you out of your shell a little bit. And I remember being on friendly terms with you, like to the point where I didn't feel awkward to meet you in real life at all.
Yeah.
And then we met in real life, and somehow we talked about.
Oh my god! You can't just bring that up.
Should I bleep that out? Should I bleep?
Oh my god!
Okay, I'll bleep that out. Okay.
Are you just gonna leave your audience wondering what you mentioned?
Yeah. Okay.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery box. What did we talk about? It's the hard R. No. I'm kidding.
You're ruining your career.
I'm ruining my own podcast. That's great. But the thing is, I've never so quickly and so easily built a friendship. No, shut up. Honestly, it was such an instantaneous friendship that I was like, is this girl like a snake? Like, what does she want? Like what?
Oh my god!
Like, it was just so bizarre. Like, obviously, like, sometimes, one or two interactions later, then you're friends. But for us, it was like literally the first time we met and talked, and it was like, okay, now we're friends. And then like I sat next to you in that entire animation meetup thing, and that
was so much fun.
That was cemented it. That cemented it. It's like, yeah, all right, we're done now. We're friends now. I don't know. That was pretty fun. The animation meetup thing. Do you reckon it will happen again?
I hope so. I hope we get like a bigger room for it.
I hope.
There's so many of us.
There's way too many of us. And this time, well, the thing is, there's so many feature creators that I don't know what VidCon's going to do with them, right? Like, what are you going to do?
I didn't think about that.
Animation panel with like 12 of us? Like, what are you going to do, right? And I instead of like the conveyor belt system where, everybody has to meet with like all 30 of us, right? Perhaps like a kind of, have you seen like a career expo where it's like all these booths set up and you kind of walk around just randomly? That would be pretty cool. Like, this is the Emily booth and this is Ma's booth,
I don't think I'd get my own booth. I think I'd share it with like 2 other people.
Okay, a booth. Okay, sure. A booth isn't the right word because what are we going to do? Be in the expo hall? It's not going to happen. But I guess like our separate table, I guess. And like we were sitting next to Billy and John, or sorry, Young Tails, right? Billy but better and Young Tails.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. What a time flies, man. Holy moly. And that entire thing led to, the entire you joining the, I don't want to name the server, but the community, and meeting everybody, and joining into a circle of friends. I don't know why this chaotic energy I decided to invite, but
You're not wrong.
No, you're not even that chaotic. You're like the right level. Like, I've never met somebody who is so ruthless on Twitter. Like, you will drag people on Twitter.
No, I don't. I'm very civil on Twitter.
You totally do sometimes. Like, okay, I don't want to name him, but like that one guy who was like, hey, just don't have student loan. And
my God.
Your eyes started glowing. And you're just like, thought.
All my chakras unlocked.
The gates have been unlocked. And so even with that though, why?
Yeah, the whole Twitter interaction thing, you're right. I do get like a little sassier on Twitter than I do on any other platform. But it's that you remember that Rebecca Perrin video where she talks about how she gets so annoyed when people sort of are very condescending with her and kind of just assume she doesn't know something, or that she's like dumb.
Right.
I remember when I first watched that video, I was like, I don't know if I've ever felt that way. Then I was active on Twitter, and I was like, so that's what that feels like.
I see. Yeah.
Where it's always, there's always these people who, for some reason, feel the need to give unsolicited advice. Like, constantly. Like, even when it's not asked. And I remember I was so annoyed because on that particular tweet, I was like celebrating having already paid off student loans.
Right.
And then this kid comes in and is like, well, have you considered not getting them? And then he like went off on this paragraph of like, well, here's how you'd be able to not take out student loans, how you could pay. Like, he clearly has no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, why are you throwing this advice at me when I've already solved this problem?
Yeah.
Like, why after the fact? And like, it's not, yeah. Oh, sorry, I keep interrupting.
No, the solution was pretty garbage as well. It's just like, essentially it will boil down to don't do it. Don't get debt. And it's like, what? Do you know how this works?
Exactly. And it's like something that I've noticed just happening a lot on Twitter, like not even just on my stuff, like on other people's stuff too.
Uh-huh.
Where people just come in and it'll be like they just want to give their input. Like they just kind of just want to hear themselves talk, but...
Okay, to be fair, isn't that just our genre in a nutshell? like listening to ourselves talk for long periods of time?
True.
Big yikes.
But like we're not going on someone else's video and being like, hey, let me talk about my experience unprompted.
Let me cracks knuckles. Let me mansplain right here. Like,
oh no.
It's like not even the college thing, but I obviously I don't want to bring gender as the sole reason, but it's definitely got to, like more prevalent because you're female, right? Like,
I think so. Yeah.
They think like, oh, I can nurture you, and it's like I can make you feel safe, and it's like gross.
Oh no. Okay, wait. Can I go off for a second?
Go off, sis.
You know what I hate? I hate. Oh my god. You're right. I don't want to bring like gender into it. Like, I don't want people to be like, Enrique's an SJW. But I've noticed like this happens a lot more with males or guys. Right. It happens a lot more with like I've never had this experience with like as a girl. But I'll tweet literally anything, and for some reason there's people who will immediately think of it as a cry for help.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'll be like, hey, oh, I accidentally like burned part of my hair on the stove. Haha, like LOL, I guess I got to get a haircut. Like it's very casual. I'm not like in peril.
Right.
But then there'll be like 3 or 4 people who run in and be like, "Oh, don't worry, it's okay. You're going to be fine."
Right.
And I'm like, "What? Why are you talking like that?" It's like I know that part of my brand is that I'm a very sensitive person who like cries easily, because it's true, I am. But not with like absolutely everything. Like I'll have good reason to feel that way.
Yeah, you're still capable at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, it's like they think every little thing will break me. Like I'm some kind of like this delicate little flower that can't handle like a single breeze. Or like, I'll tweet about just a minor inconvenience and I'll laugh about it. And then, again, the same like 3 or 4 people rush in and they're like, "Don't worry, it's okay." Like I can almost feel them like crouching down to like pat me on the head.
Oh, it's like they're wearing white knight armor. They're like, "Here, Emily-san,"
It's like, I don't like that. It kind of seems like they have some sort of like savior complex.
Right.
Where they're like, "I can help you." Or like, I hate it when, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going to sound
No, go for it. Go off, sis. Listen, okay? Okay.
Yeah, but I don't ever really tweet about feeling sad about anything, because I kind of want to like avoid that.
Mm-hmm.
And also because like sadness passes, I don't want to tweet about something like, "Oh, I'm feeling really down," because it doesn't help me personally.
Yeah.
And then I don't want people to like think that that's going to be like my constant state of mind for like the rest of the week.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'll tweet about like, yeah, minor inconveniences, because like sometimes they're really funny. But then there'll be people who'll take that as, "Oh no, she needs help," and they'll be like, "If you need anyone to talk to, I'm always here.
Bruh.
Don't worry." And I'm like, "No, I don't. I have friends for that."
Right. It's like, thanks, random stranger.
Yeah, and it'll be over something as simple as, "Oh no, I dropped like a chicken nugget. Now I'm less a nugget." And they're like, "If you need anyone to talk to, hit me up."
the saddest tragedy of them all. Oh my God. Okay. Do you think that, because I'm not sure if you've publicly said this in a video, but you're not single.
No.
And do you think because they think you're single that they're acting like this, like in the hopes that you might get with them?
I don't think so, because Alyssa is very not single, and she still gets that same.
Yeah, the condescending mansplain. Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah. Like, I don't think it makes a difference, honestly.
No, honestly, I get it. Like, as a guy, I'm telling you, I'm sorry, okay? Like, I just want to apologize on behalf of my gender. But I usually don't have to deal with that, right? Like, and to be fair, I don't, like, everything I do on Twitter, everything I do on most social media is just always a meme, really. Like, I don't take anything seriously sometimes. Like, obviously, I'll have some sentimental days and I'll just be like, I'm so grateful. But then they'll always tank in terms of likes because they're like, this is not a meme. Shut the hell up, you know? So, and
you don't have feelings.
Yeah, what the heck? How do men don't have feelings?
Oh my God.
And so in my newest video, which just to date this one, but was the friend zone part 2. I've had to deal with a varying spectrum of people. Oh. So I think I've sent screenshots of the kind of incel kind of guys saying like, Maz, you missed your shot. Girls, when they touch you, they almost always want to sleep with you. Okay,
that's how they like don't interact with women though.
I get that, and that was like huge red flag for me, right? I was like, oh yikes,
it baffles me when when incels they view girls as these. It's always the guys that refer to girls as females,
right?
Never anything else. But like they view them as like these like-minded like species that all think and behave the same way.
Yeah. Everyone's
and it's like you gotta crack the code.
Yeah.
If they so much as glance in your direction, they want you.
Dude, if they drop the chicken nugget, they know that's the sign.
You gotta save them.
You gotta save them. But honestly, like this entire uploading the video, somebody noted that I just kept saying frick all the time, like frick, frickin', frick, and they're like, Maz, why don't you just swear?
Because Daddy Algorithm doesn't like that.
Dude, Daddy Algorithm will beat the everlasting crap out of us if we swear.
This displeases Lord Susan.
Dude, Susan, takes out her belt. It's rough, and especially nowadays, like with the second apocalypse happening, it's just like, why would we do that to ourselves? Why would we incur the wrath? But. Oh gosh, this is another thing that I kind of just want to pick your brain on. But like both of us swear, right? It's not a secret that in real life that we swear. Like
sailors.
Yeah, like, oh, we're awful. I'm Australian. Emily's actually a sailor, so Sailor Emily, like the shoujo, moho, whatever,
moho shoujo.
Wait, I'm messing up. But like we swear a lot.
Yes.
And so like
outside of our videos.
Outside of our videos, right? But then like that kind of brings to light, like, how we always think of like, hey, our video should be a representation of ourselves and a reflection of who we are. But sometimes I do worry that it's not. Especially nowadays, I think my sense of humor is getting closer and closer. Like in this video, with this most recent video, I watched it after I finished, and I was laughing at my own jokes. Like that's how I knew that I had hit the stride of my own sense of humor. But like whenever, so good. Oh, dude, thank you. And whenever I meet people in real life, though, they're like, "Wow, Maz, you actually swear a little bit, like a lot." And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And I'm curious to see what you think about it, Emily, because not only like is a swearing thing happening, but also you're probably one of the creators on YouTube or in this community who is probably the most different from video to real life, I'd say.
Well, you're just going to call me out like that?
Yeah, in that video, you're like, oh, hi, it's Emily. And then outside, you're like, get the F out of here, like.
Oh my god!
You get a deeper voice.
Okay, wait. All right. I think well, so for your, I think the big difference is my videos. All of our videos are scripted, right?
Right.
But I feel like my videos are scripted in a way where it really wouldn't make sense for me to curse. Like it would just be unnecessary.
Okay.
Because I curse a lot in my casual conversation, like my every day-to-day conversation.
Right.
But it just would feel weird to slip that into my videos.
No, that's fair enough. No,
And
that's
also, yeah, if you watch some collabs I do with other people on their channels, the more loose, casual, foul mouth side of me comes out. Every time that happens, my parents call me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Wait, you can't just drop that. What do you mean your parents call you?
Okay, it's really funny. So, I will occasionally do a collab with CDogVA.
Okay.
And he, of course, curses like a sailor on his channel because he can't. That's part of his thing. His audience is very used to that.
Right.
And on some videos, you'd play this Pictionary game. And none of it's scripted, so it's just casual conversation, which means a couple no words are gonna slip out.
No words.
Yeah, and every time that's happened, my dad would call me all the way from Korea, and he'd be like, "Why are you cursing? That's such a bad look. You're gonna lose all your subscribers. They're gonna unsubscribe from you because you're cursing."
Dude, wait, how did he know that the video was up? What do you mean? Do you send him the video?
No, he looks for my name. He he searches.
What the heck?
Just to see what I'm up to, you know?
Dude, he's the biggest Emirichu fan. It's your dad.
He is. He's constantly aware of my subscriber count. It's a little stressful, actually.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah. Okay, wait. Side note. You know what's really funny, but also kind of sweet?
What's up?
My mom tells me that every morning he puts on a playlist of my videos. He won't watch them. He'll just, because he's seen them already, but he'll put on a playlist of them and just have them play just to give me the views.
Oh.
And I'm like, you don't have to do that.
My heart. That
He's I gotta support my daughter.
That's so sweet. I wish. Oh, that's so supportive. What the heck? Oh man.
So that's why he's so concerned with my image. And yeah, and I feel a big chunk of my audience is aware that I curse occasionally, because I have cursed a couple times in my videos.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I forget that there's also a chunk of my viewers who don't know that. So if I do curse once, I'm like, "Oh my god, I didn't know Emirichu cursed," and I'm like, "I'm so sorry."
Forgive me.
But also, I think what made me want to stray away from that was also just knowing how young some of my viewers are. When I found out some of the kids from my old job found my YouTube channel, one of them is 8, and the other one's 13. And I'm I don't really want them to, and because both of them, I'm told that they really look up to me as this inspiration and this role model.
Oh,
and
right.
I don't really want to.
And you're just so disappointing. No, I get it, right?
Oh my god!
I know. Go on.
Well, I feel comfortable cursing because I'm a grown adult, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't want to encourage
bad behavior.
That sort of, what's the word? Vocabulary.
You want to be a role model.
Kids. Is that hypocritical? I don't
know. No, I think that's just you attempting to be a role model, and I think that's perfectly acceptable, honestly.
Yeah. And because I also know cursing isn't necessary. I know because people are there mostly for the art. Yeah. So, yeah.
No, I think that's definitely fair. For me personally, I used to make during the reviews, when I used to make anime reviews, I also made skits, comedic skits, similar to what I do on TikTok now, except I used to speak them. And and I used to swear a lot in those, and my parents saw them, and they were like, "Maz, look, I know you're trying to do what you enjoy, but could you not do those and remove them actually? Because we don't want our family to look at them and think you swear all the time." And so I was like, "Okay."
Aw.
And they were like, "Could you also remove like videos with your face on it? Because like we don't."
Also, delete your whole channel.
Yeah. Like your dad's like watching the playlist. My dad's just like, God, just kill yourself, you know? Like, and so they were like, "Hey, could you and not add your face maybe?" And I was like, "Okay, sure." And so literally the conditions for my first video were no swearing, can't show my face. And I was like, what can I do then? It's like, hey, hide your face. Like I was thinking initially to do like a kind of grade A under A kind of style, like where it's just rant and commentary.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw Domix and Jaden and James, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll do that instead. And so that's where I am currently. And and I talked to Rebecca about this as well, Rebecca Parham, and even if we were given the option to swear, I don't think I would. Like if the algorithm wasn't going to smack us for this big dong, I don't think I would swear anyway. Because I agree, there is like my baby brother watches my videos, and he's like 12 years old, and I don't know. I feel responsible a little bit.
You gotta be the responsible big brother.
I know, and I can't swear in front of him. Like I swear when he and I play Overwatch together, because it's just like an instinct. I'm just like, like out of rage. But like if I could avoid it, and especially to my fans as well, I'd rather do that.
Also, wait, I know you mentioned that you saw me as like the creator that was the most different from like her online persona and IRL persona.
Yes.
Do you think that makes me fake?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I thought about that a lot. Because I was talking to Sultan about this, because Sultan was worried that he's in the similar vein, right? You're
right. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because Sultan's like in the videos, he's the sweetheart that's like, oh, I like women and I get friends, like the kind of that entire thing. But then, cut to him like an alcoholic in real life, like.
Don't expose him.
I'm kidding. He's not an alcoholic, obviously. He's not. Yeah. And so he was asking like, whatever. And I was like, well, look at Emily. And he's like, yeah, but is that negative? And honestly, I don't think so. I don't. Because there's nothing that says in this community that you need to expose 100% of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I would actually argue that James and Jaden are also similar in this regard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Jaden, like you're familiar with Jaden, right? Like obviously you've met in real life and stuff, but she's not like the way she is in her videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not an exposed thing. That's just how it is. We all swear. Sometimes we just choose not to swear. But outside of that, I thought for the longest time that what James makes is like personality driven videos. People love his personality a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized like very recently the huge difference between him and a lot of us in the animation community, which is that he goes about making his videos like a comedic routine, like a stand-up routine. He could literally say his videos in front of an audience in VidCon or like any stage, and it would have the exact same level of functionality. Does that make sense? Like the punchline, what he says, it is a stand-up routine. And so it's not personality based. He's crafted.
That's cute. Domix is like a TED Talk.
Yeah.
James is like a stand-up.
Like literally, James is very similar to Bo Burnham, right? People love Bo Burnham. It's like, oh, I love his personality. But you don't love his personality. You love the show that he puts on. And I think James is in a similar standing where it's like...
Are you saying he's like not as funny in real life?
No. I'm absolutely not saying that, But I'm just saying people are like, wow, I love James' personality. It's like, no, you don't. You love the personality and the videos that he's crafting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the big difference. And whether it be detrimental or not, because his videos are very entertaining regardless, right?
Right.
But once I realized that very quickly, my entire thing is I want to make personality-driven videos. I want my personality, and not my personality, but my sense of humor to radiate through. Because my videos are crafted as well. But it felt, for me anyway, it felt like a waste of potential with animation. Because I know James doesn't say he does animation, so that's fine. But like for me, it was like I'm doing animation and I have the ability to draw and do whatever, right? I want to make videos that couldn't be delivered in another medium, right? And so that's why I deliberately I don't break the pacing, but I augment the pacing of my videos with a lot of skits, right? A lot of skits, and like which wouldn't make sense on stage. Like if I were to do my video, my most recent one, in front of the stage, how would how would that make sense, right? It wouldn't make sense because you need the visual aspect.
You would need like a ton of props. You'd be like switching costumes every 2 minutes.
Exactly. Like even the part 1 where I was like in a detective costume and I was in a Vsauce thing. Like I like using the visual a lot because without naming anybody, there are certain people in this community who I turn on and then I listen to because their visuals don't add anything to it. And so I listen to their audio.
It's okay, Maz, you can at me.
No. Listen, Emily, no kidding. It's fine. You're not one of them, but it's just like that's like that. You don't want. I don't know. I personally don't want that, right? Like I want it to be. You have to watch the visuals to get all the memes. Like if you were to listen to my video, all you would hear is Michael Jackson, teach me your ways. And then it's like the but like you wouldn't see the Fortnite dance that he's doing.
The best part.
Yeah, it's like the best part. And so I don't know, that's the entire deal, right? That's the entire ways of doing it. Whether it's like detrimental, I think that's just subjective, right? It's like I'm sure animation purists would be like, how dare you not use visuals to the best? And certain people would be like, you're so fake in your videos, whatever. What we're doing in the very, very base level is making entertainment, right? And no matter how you go about it, as long as you deliver and entertain an audience, who cares? Right?
Yeah.
Like David Dobrik doesn't have that many parties every goddamn day. He doesn't. But
you don't know crafts
that. like no human could have that. They'll die of alcohol poisoning. But like his life isn't that crazy, and he does manufacture even in his videos he pays his friends to do stuff and write. Like he manufactures these moments, but people don't hate him for that, Like people don't hate that because he's entertaining in the end.
Right.
I don't know. That's just how it be sometimes.
I do think of the way I present myself online is still very much me, just with a very heavy filter over it.
A very filter, yeah. Yeah. No, it's fair enough. Like just none of your sass, like all of your sass is like extracted, like removed.
I put in a little bit, I think.
Yeah, you sprinkle your sass, but like you don't drag them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my wig is intact when I watch your videos, but then I talk to you and my wig is gone. Like I don't even know where it is, you know what I mean? Like
you're just bald from the beginning.
Like I talk to you and I'm like Rush, just out of nowhere. But like, yeah, I don't know.
It's all of like it's what I think are the nice qualities about myself. I enhance and then I sort of just kind of put away the not as nice
not as appealing. Look, and I think it's obviously garnered a lot of success for you. You've got a predominantly female audience and they love that kind of side of it. And I think that's, very admirable. I think that's fantastic. The way, no matter how you go about it, as long as you achieve it, then who cares, Like you're not doing anything shady, as long as you don't do anything shady or like questionable morally, then you're fine.
Oh, well, that's what I was worried about because like when I hear someone say like, I don't know, I'm Marie too cursed, I'm like worried that in their head they're like, oh, so this everything that I've seen from her is a lie, which it isn't. It's not a lie. It's just you've only seen a part of who I am as a person, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't think anybody watches the videos expecting a full 100% persona. Like it is a persona. We like our character. Like I'm not a white-skinned dude with no eyes, no. Right? Like, and like we all put on a little bit of a persona, no matter how genuine we try to be. So I think that's fine. I don't think that's cool. I think that's cool anyway. And so you mentioned Sea-Dog VA earlier, with the swearing and the cussing, and then your parents texting.
Oh right.
What because I know YouTube and this entire Storytime thing That's not. Is that your final goal? Like, it's not your final goal, is it?
I guess not.
What does that mean? I guess not. Like, you don't know?
I don't know. I'm kind of just winging it.
Why are you and Sultan like this? Okay. Sultan's like, yeah, I'm just doing this full time now. And I was like, okay, so what's the plan? He's like, I don't know. And I was like, but YouTube is so crap. It's so unstable. What's the wait? Well, you got to have something.
I've been asked several times, like, what's your end game? And I'm like, I don't know.
Like, what happened to the voice acting? I thought you wanted to be a voice actress.
That was one of my like dream careers, and it's like, how cool would it be to like, and like, I still think that would be a super cool career option. Obviously, I'm not like focusing on it, in favor of YouTube.
Okay.
But sorry, what?
But I was just gonna say, you're friends with Sea Dog and a few other voice actors, and when you gave me your lines, you're just like, professional, like editing, and you edit the lines out. You're just like clear, crisp, whatever. And then you have my ratchety, self. It's just like, You keep.
I love that you keep in the bit where you're like, hold on, let me get water, and then it's silent for like 10 seconds. You don't get any of that out.
Why would I? I don't know. I don't know. I just find it funny. Like, I love listening to that. Just how you get to that state. You know what I mean? And like, I see where you're coming from. It's a very like tactful thing to do, like to only give the relevant lines. But I don't know. I just find it funny.
No, I like the extra bits. It like adds personality.
Yeah. Like, if I had to listen to all these lines that I've done and the collabs I've done without the context, that would be really weird. Like, especially with the Jaden one, because I made her say some awful lines. Like,
oh gosh,
garbage lines. Yeah, that'd be so good. Well, I don't know. It's just like, weren't you also thinking about making like a comic series on Webtoons and stuff?
Oh, well, not as like a career choice, just like for fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Every step I make is not very calculated, which I mean, I guess is kind of risky. It's sort of how I approach my channel too. Like, I kind of just upload whatever I feel like uploading. And even though I know story times do way better on my channel than, for example, like a sketchbook tour.
Or your cover with Steven Universe.
That wasn't my cover, but yeah, the illustrated cover. Yeah. And, even though I know it's not as lucrative, I don't know, I enjoy it. Like, I want to make it.
Yeah, I don't know, shut the hell up. I get it.
I remember I felt like sad for a moment because I got a comment on my sketchbook tour the other day from this person who was like just being really rude. Like, they don't really get to me that much, but like, it was for
what did they say?
For a split second. Yeah, they said, we're here for your story time. Stop wasting your time on videos like this.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and for a split second, I was like, ow. What?
Oh, forgive me for giving, forgive us for giving you free content to watch. Hopefully our free content that we spend hours making will be up to your satisfaction, right? Like,
yeah, and like, dude. Even though it's just one comment out of like, with that one comment, there were dozens of comments that were like, I actually prefer these more casual ones, or people who are like, wow, I love it when you upload a sketchbook tour, like, we want more of those, and like, that makes me happy. Or like, people who are like, I don't care what you upload, I'm here for your art, so if it has something to do with your art, I'm down.
Right.
And I really appreciate them so much, because I'm like, wow, you really like support me for what I want to make. But of course, I do know there are people who are kind of there for one type of video. I can't fault them for that, because it's like a weird mixed grab bag. Sometimes I upload something you're interested in, other times it's not.
Yeah, I think that's just how the algorithm works right now.
Yeah.
So the reason, the legendary status that Adam, Rebecca Parham, and James have, and Jaden, the four of them, the reason that they're so legendary and like they hold such a huge status is because on YouTube, the way it works is like an upward spiral thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to the new analytics studio in Studio Beta, it actually shows you a gray area on views and watch time where they expected your video to go. And if you upload a video and it exceeds their expectations, they'll increase that expectation by a little bit for the next video. And then if you exceed that in the next video, they'll increase that a bit more. And if you exceed that, they'll increase it a bit more. And they'll keep increasing it. And I think James, Jade, and Rebecca, Adam have reached a point in which it's such a high expectation that YouTube just knows that they're going to be bangers. And so that's why immediately James got number 1 trending, Rebecca got number 6 trending.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
Like immediately. And so that's like, obviously, that's the merit of having focused content, because those two, Rebecca and James, make literally the animation stories, and like that's it.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely. And like going back to the whole like YouTube as a career, not really having an end goal for it thing. Sometimes I've thought to myself, like, am I making like a really dumb move by just kind of doing whatever I want?
Right.
And because I remember I've been told a couple times, surprisingly, by people who don't do YouTube, but like still advice nonetheless.
Yeah.
I've gotten told by some people who were like, you should probably stick to one thing so that people don't get turned off by how varied your stuff is.
Right.
But then at the same time, I get advice from people who are like, don't do one thing all the time or people will get bored. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to do what I want.
No, I think you've hit the right level, because what the best outcome of it is, you should make people come for 2 reasons.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, sure, could be like, hey, this is storytime animation from Emily. I love Emily. But another reason, and I think you've hit this, is that people genuinely love your persona. And so even your sketchbook tour did really well. They got like 200,000 views or something. It's like huge, right?
Oh, thanks, Moz.
I'm serious. People love your persona, and it's like literally you've achieved that point in which, even though you do varied things, because I've seen channels that do varied stuff and they like the very quote unquote alternate videos go like die like straight up, like not even close, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're still kicking it. You're still doing well.
Yay!
There you go. Like, I'm not even roasting you that much this time.
I know, you feeling okay?
But the thing is, yeah, I know, right? I'm sick. I guess because we're the only 2 on the satellite. I guess I have to be nice to you a little bit. But another thing as well is that because YouTube is so unstable,
mm-hmm.
and you've obviously got experience in this, but what like are you getting sponsors? Like, are you lining them up to kind of, because you're doing full-time YouTube, right? This is literally your only source of income. So
Mm-hmm.
Are you lining up sponsors to kind of get a bit of extra cash on the side, or?
No, and I feel like I should be.
Oh?
Yeah, I like this year specifically, I haven't been doing any sponsors whatsoever.
Is there any specific reason for that?
Oh, I know. Number 1, I felt like I did, like every other video had a sponsor in it, I think, like last year.
Yeah.
2018. And I didn't really enjoy doing them that much. Like, I know it's to get that, like, extra bit of income, which is always nice.
Right.
But I always felt like it kind of, like, didn't add anything to the video.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, sponsors are so common everywhere now,
right,
that it's not like jarring to like see it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then second, I never really approached sponsors to do one. I would just kind of like
just wait.
Yeah, I would.
Bruh.
I would just wait to, like, because it wasn't my priority. I wasn't like, oh, I gotta get a sponsor for this video. I was just like, if I get a sponsor, I get a sponsor, like, whatever.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah, but at the same, it's awful because I've gotten pickier with my sponsors, and I haven't been approaching any of them, so I just don't have any right now.
Picky with what regards? What are your criteria?
My criteria has been if it doesn't seem like something my audience would be particularly interested in, or if it's something that I don't particularly find interesting, then I'm not going to do it. Okay. Because then it just feels too forced. Like, I don't accept sponsors from mobile games.
Oh, who would? Mobile games, yeah, they're apparently notorious for being terrible sponsors.
Yeah, and it just would feel so out of place, I feel.
Yeah.
With my content.
What about Honey and like Hello Fresh and those kinds of sponsors?
I'd be down for those for sure. I use Honey actually, so it'd be perfect.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, they should be paying me. No. I use Honey. I recently got an email from a sponsor, like for a potential sponsor, for an Asian dating website.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like,
hilarious.
I'm like, how weird would that be? Like at the end of my story time. By the way, only Asians in my audience. If you're looking for some love, like
no, I would do that as a meme, dude. That's so funny, dude. What the heck? That's hilarious.
Like, do you know my audience?
All right, so everybody but Asians, leave already. Now for
So obviously I'm not going to do that one.
Yeah, I guess so. I agree with you, but the thing is, I'm obviously in a different position. Like, I'm not a full-time YouTuber, and so I can afford to be picky. But obviously, for you, I guess that's your choice. And nobody, like, I know James doesn't do that with him, but that's because YouTube gives him big boy money. But I honestly, 2 or 3 days ago, got a sponsorship offer for my Instagram.
Ooh,
yeah, they're like, hey, your Instagram following is pretty deep.
Is it one of those laxative weight loss teas?
What? Excuse me? What?
Is it one of those appetite suppressing lollipops?
Oh my god! Are you talking about like those like oh no, it's not.
Is it sugar bear hair?
I wish. Shut up. No, it was like, hey, would you mind? I don't want to say the product, but it's like an electronic. It's like an electronic product. Mm-hmm. They're like, hey, you have a pretty sizable following. Do you mind if we sponsor you for it? And I'm just like, you know what? I'll take that. I was like pretty happy with it. I was like, you know what? I'll take it. Mm-hmm. I know. You've got a sizable Insta following. How have you not gotten one for yourself?
Maybe I don't post enough.
On Insta?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't post at all.
I don't know, Maz. I don't know why people don't approach me for things.
You're scary. That's fine. Okay.
This is what I mean by I kind of wing it. I don't think these things through all the way. Or I think maybe 2 steps ahead and that's about it. 2 baby steps. I think about what I'm going to eat for lunch tomorrow.
Oh, Emily.
That's as far as I think. Very simple-minded.
Emily is just you're like a little toddler smacking 2 bricks. And then a man comes in, it's like, Emily, let me take care of you. So crusty. What the heck, dude?
Oh my god.
Now it's been a year since you've done YouTube? Is that rough?
It's 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
No, it hasn't.
It started in June of 2017.
It's almost 2 years. Holy moly.
Yeah. That's when I started uploading.
Yeah. How does it compare to your previous jobs?
Oh god, way better.
That was too quick.
Well, of course, I'm always going to prefer doing something that I enjoy rather than just a job.
Yeah, I guess so. I've been enjoying YouTube. Honestly, this year, I've been enjoying my medicine a bit more than YouTube, actually. So that's a new change.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Not to say that YouTube's gone bad. It's just medicine has been so good to me for the last few weeks.
That's good. I'm glad.
Yeah, positive feelings, I guess. I don't know. Just happy with where I am. So currently, with your YouTube journey, do you feel satisfied with where you're at?
Is it bad to say yes?
Why would it be bad to say yes?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like most people would be like, I need more. I need to get bigger, Mm-hmm. Which is also that's not a bad mindset to have. I applaud ambition, of course. But I don't know, for me, I'm already way past where I thought I was gonna be.
Right.
And of course, I would like to grow. Everyone would.
Right.
But I'm not gonna be heartbroken if I plateau.
Okay.
Yeah. As long as I'm stable and I can keep continuing making things that I enjoy making, then I'm fine. As long as I can pay for my intense iced coffee addiction, then we're all good.
Answer. This wholesome ass hoe. Look at this.
Wow.
Oh man, that was just my heart. And your dad's watching your videos, getting views up. Oh, so cute. It's So cute. Can I adopt your dad?
Oh my god!
Okay, he can be my daddy. All right, and so with that, we're gonna end off the Chatellite there. Thanks for coming on for my second episode.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
No problems. Thanks for coming along. It's been fun. I don't have a Patreon or anything set up. Just make sure to subscribe to my second channel for a bit more of these kind of content. All right. Thanks for coming. Bye, everybody.
Bye.